Striver. So today I'm going to show you how to hold a kitchen knife and how to cut with it. There's a right way and a wrong way, and this isn't the very good way because, you know, it kind of goes all over the place and you could get cut. So first you want to have a knife that actually fits your hand. This is an 8-inch chef knife and it's perfect for me and for my hand. A man might want a 10-inch, but for most women, an 8-inch is good. So you want to actually have your knife, your finger, your thumb by the neck, and you want to have your forefinger on the other side. So see, right now, I have control of the knife. Okay, back here, I don't. It could go anywhere. So right here, firmly, right there. That's how you want to hold your knife. You also want to start with the sharp knife. So this is a steel. It's not a nail file. Okay, of course, it could be one, huh? But it's not. It's called a steel. So get one of these. You probably have one in your drawer and you didn't know what it was. So this is called a steel. So if you're not comfortable in sharpening your knife like this, another thing that you can do is, hold on, if you're not comfortable in sharpening your knife like this, go ahead and use a towel, or in this case I'm using an apron, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to slide it down a few times from the front and the back towards the blade, and you just want to get a nice sharp nice sharp knife. So now you're ready, but before you start cutting, if you have a cutting board that's slipping around on the counter, go ahead and put a towel underneath it. That way it stays in place, which also means less cuts. So get the item that you're going to be cutting, and instead of putting your fingers out like that, because what could happen? I could cut my fingers, right? You want to curl your hand under. You're holding it actually, and you're also curling your fingers under. And you're just going to hold it in place, and you're just going to go down and cut. And you're going to move your fingers, and you're going to cut. See how easy that is? See? You can do it. So get a knife that fits your hand, get a knife that works well, make sure you're holding it right, and rock your kitchen. So Strivers, now that you know how to use a knife, I'm going to show you how to cut up a mango. There's an easy way to do it, okay? So got your knife, got your mango, you're going to cut off the end, and you're going to cut off the other end. Sometimes it's a little tricky because the seed's right there, and then you're actually going to lay it like that, and you're going to take and curl your fingers. Remember, we curl our fingers. And you're just going to take it and slide it down. You want to try not to cut off as much of the meat as you can. You just want to try to get the peel. But you see how easy that skin's coming off? You just want to kind of curl and follow the shape of the mango. So it's kind of rounded. You want to kind of go down and round. And you're just going to rotate the mango as you cut. And if you miss some pieces, it's all right. We're going to go back and get those. But you get the idea. So we're just going to cut it nice and smooth like that, all the way around and get off the peel. Oops, see, I missed a piece. So we're just going to get rid of that little piece of mango. Get rid of the extra garbage that we don't need. And then all you're going to do is you're going to just slice as much of the meat off as you can. And you're not going to get a lot of it because, you know, that seed is right in the middle. But you're going to get a big, good chunk of it because we're going to use this for our dinner tonight that we're making. So you just want to cut off as much of that meat off as you can and go all the way around and get it all off. Okay? Then, we're then going to go ahead and just medium dice it. An easy way to do that is you're just going to make it in 3 little sections, and you're just going to choppily dice it like that. And that is an easy way to cut a mango. You can also do the same thing with cantaloupe and honeydew and watermelon. Okay, just cut the ends off, take the skin off, rotate it, and there you go. So the last component that we need for tonight's dish that we're going to be sharing later is basil. So there's a couple ways that you can cut basil. First, you want to make sure you get the stems off because they can be kind of bitter. You can take it and you can actually take a couple of the leaves and you're going to roll them. And this is what's called a chiffonade style. This gives it a nice little long string. You're going to curl your fingers and you're just going to chiffonade it. So what you end up with is a nice little long string. So for this recipe, it doesn't really need a chiffonade. What it just basically needs is a rough chop. So all we're going to do is kind of make a pile and then try to curl it the best that you can, because it's kind of hard, because the leaves are kind of awkward. But just do the best you can. And then we're going to just roughly chop it. We're going to go this way, and then we're going to try to gather it again together, and we're going to do it again, and we're just going to give it a rough chop. Because it doesn't really need to be small, but you don't want to get a full bite of basil, because for some people it can be kind of strong. So we're just going to rough chop it a little bit, just so that it's broken down. It doesn't have to be really small, but that way it's not going to be a big, huge piece that someone gets. And that's all there is, and that's how you can cut basil. You can chiffonade it, which is the nice little long strings, or you can just rough chop it, but make sure that you have the stems off because that can be better. Okay? So rock your kitchen. So this is a real easy Indian dish, and it's just warm and spicy, and it's savory, and it's sweet, so it's all the good components that you want together in a dish that's really, really easy to make. So the first thing we're going to start with is shrimp. So what I did is I bought shrimp that was already deveined and already shelled. It still has the tails on. You can take the tails off if you want. So I went ahead and I marinated this with a teaspoon of the cayenne pepper and a teaspoon of the turmeric. And the turmeric, I wish you could smell it. It just smells really earthy, you know. Doesn't smell like dirt. It just smells really earthy and deep and rich and good. And then the cayenne pepper obviously is going to be spicy. So if you don't like cayenne pepper, you don't like spicy, you don't have to put it in there. But it does make it really good. So I took the shrimp, and for me, to save time, I went ahead and got it deveined. And that way I don't have to worry about messing with it. But if you want to save money, go ahead and buy it, you know, whole and shell it yourself and devein it yourself. And then I went ahead and I put the turmeric and the cayenne pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon of each. You can put a little extra depending if you like a little more spice, a little more earthiness. And go ahead and put that in the fridge for a half hour and let it kind of marinate. Okay? So that's ready to go. Then we turn it on my stove, turn it on my oven. My grandma used to always say hot pan means happy food. So we want to make sure the pan is nice and hot. Not burning, don't want to start a fire, but you do want it to be nice and hot. So the other only ingredients that we need is olive oil, salt and pepper, and then we diced up some mangoes, some green onions, this is the tops, you don't want the bottoms, but save the bottoms for something else, and then we roughly chopped up some basil. So you're going to get the sweet and the savory and the hot, and it's just going to be so good and it's so easy. So hot pan, we're going to go ahead and put in about a tablespoon of olive oil. And let that kind of warm up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and put the shrimp in. And you're going to lay it flat, single layer. And you just want to cook this until it gets just a little pink. You don't want to overcook it because we're going to cook it a little bit longer. So single layer, just kind of put that in the pan. So you want to cook this for about a minute on each side. And then we're going to flip them over. We're just going to lay that in there nice. And again, if you don't like shrimp, you can use chicken. And then right now you would be cooking up your chicken. You would marinate it with the turmeric and the cayenne. And then you would go ahead and add your chicken in. So that's done. So we'll get that. And again, we're just going to put it in there for about, a minute. Just to give it a little bit of color. You want it to start looking just a little pink. Okay, so after the shrimp are all turned over, and they just get a little bit of pink because you don't have to worry about cooking them all the way through. We're going to cook it a little bit longer. Then you want to go ahead and cook it for another minute on the other side. It's smelling good. It's smelling really good. Okay, so after it's been about a minute on both sides, minute each on both sides, then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little extra sprinkle of cayenne pepper because we like spice in our house. And a little bit more of the turmeric because it just smells so good. Then all you do is you throw in your diced mango, and this is one mango that we've cut. We're going to toss that in. We're going to toss in one bunch of the scallion tops. And then the roughly chopped basil. Toss all that in. Salt and pepper to taste. a few swig dashes. Some salt. And then we're going to let that kind of cook down a little. It's so pretty. Do you see that? And it smells so good. So kind of toss that up. Let the shrimp cook a little bit longer. And you want to cook the shrimp until the shrimp starts to curl up. That way you know it's done. When it starts getting a little curly, curls up on the edges, you'll know. Oh, it smells so good. So this is per 1 cup serving size. It is 183 calories. So you can serve it over brown rice or some ramen noodles if you want. We're just going to toss that up and make sure that's cooking really well. We're just going to cook that down until the shrimp is cooked. The shrimp isn't quite cooked yet, so I'm going to let it cook a little longer. I wish you could smell it. It smells so good and it's so colorful. Oh. Okay, it is ready. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to toss some of this up, serve it over some rice. Make sure you get a little bit of everything. The shrimp, the mango, the green onion. And there you go. You got dinner. Doesn't it look good? So, strivers, rock your